Have you ever wondered what he is thinking during no contact? Wouldn't you love to know exactly what he really thinks and feels about you while not speaking to you? Oh, I've got some juicy news for you today. Because on today's show, we're going to be discussing what your ex is thinking during no contact so that you can finally know what to do, or in this case, what not to do, so that you can get him to reach out to you. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please stay here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome all you beautiful people. How you guys doing today? I see we got Scotty was up in the chat earlier. We got Kitty here. We got Empress here. We got Lilo here, like Lilo and Stitch. We got Regina here, Adorable here, Nizra here, and much more in the TikTok chat. Who we got over in the YouTube chat? I see we got Electric Feel here. I see we got Ivy here. I see we got Nina here. I see we got, how do you say that name? Hamida? Famida? Okay, I like that name. We got Viola here. We got Camilla here. Big O here. Nikisha West. Is Lightning A here? I don't see Lightning A. Maybe she doing something. Welcome all you beautiful people in the YouTube chat as well. Good to see all of your souls. Okay, I see your soul through the screen. We're gonna discuss lots today, so let's jump right into it. I don't want to waste any more time. All right, so you have to understand, number one is going to be tug of war. We're hopping right into it. Now, you have to understand that this is going to be the title of the book, okay? The book that I write is going to be Relationships or War, or Why Relationships are War. Because you have to understand, there is a tug of war. Make no mistake about it. There is a war going on when you are in no contact with that man, okay? Or that significant other if you're watching this and you're a man. You need to understand that the tug of war is always going to consist of who can break first, okay? Because you have the person who breaks first, meaning the person who reaches out, right, will more than likely subconsciously be saying when they break and they break that no contact, they'll be saying subconsciously, look, I am in too much emotional pain not being around you or speaking to you. The increasing amounts of emotional pain I have went through not speaking to you is now so overwhelming that whatever it is we were arguing about, whatever it is that you wanted or I wanted, I'm willing to capitulate and rearrange myself so that this can be fixed. And whatever I need to do, I'll do it just so that we can stop having no contact and I can stop being in this much emotional pain. Now, I know you're saying, but Tomisin, I just miss him. Can't I break no contact? Tomisin, I just want to talk to him. Can't I break no contact? You need to understand that you're setting groundwork for the rest of the relationship. And see, especially if you're in a situation where the no contact is existing because you're just disagreeing on things, or the no contact is existing because maybe he was doing things that you wouldn't like or appreciate from a boyfriend, or he wasn't treating you like you expect a guy to be treating his girlfriend, or he was being disrespectful for whatever the reason may be, especially if he is someone that has wronged you and you're breaking no contact when he is the one that has wronged you. What you're doing is you're losing this tug of war. You're losing the overall war, but in this specific case for this specific item, you're losing the tug of war because you need to understand the concept of how things are going to be pushed and pulled. And throughout the process of you building a relationship with someone, I know that this sounds horrible, but I do want you to understand this. When you're building a relationship with someone from the ground up and you're working on that foundation is going to set the stage for everything that your relationship is going to be down the road. Okay, so the dynamic of your relationship, how you guys speak to each other, how you guys interact with each other, how you guys treat each other when you're not so happy with each other, and how you guys treat each other when you're very happy with each other, right? All of these really, really important things are going to be happening and growing and taking shape while you guys are building your relationship with each other. In the beginning, when you guys are figuring out what the dynamic is. So of course, you're going to have disagreements. You're both individuals. There's nothing wrong with having a disagreement. But in the process of you having a disagreement and then going no contact in that disagreement, you have to understand you need to set the stage for this war, because make no mistake about it, your relationship, yes, there's lots of love, but there's also a war of power and control. And see, what a lot of guys are going to try to do with you and in the relationship with you at the very beginning is they're going to try to exercise their power and control over you as much as possible and as quickly as possible. You need to never forget that the process of a guy approaching you, hopefully he's approaching you and hopefully you're not approaching him, begging him for his attention and time. Assuming that that guy is approaching you and wants to be with you and wants to know more about you and get to know you, you have all the leverage because you have something that he wants both physically and between your legs and emotionally, right? He wants to get to know you. He wants to get closer to you. He wants to get more access to you. So if he wants that from you, you get to sit back and say, well, sir, if you want that from me, show me what you got. And see, when you're in that state, you don't need to be worried about how you can adjust or change yourself for him. Now, I'm not saying that you should never try to be a better person or you should never apologize for things, but I just need you to understand the mindset and approach you want to be coming out on your dates with is that, hey, if you want to get to know me, cool. Let's see what you got. Let's see if you can be a gentleman. Let's see if you're capable of being respectful. Let's see if you can actually show me what it's like to take care of a woman instead of just being a feminine man that you want me to give you princess treatment. Because if you're not here to do that for me, if you're not here to take care of me properly like I expect from a man that I'm going to be giving access to, then you're not the guy for me and you're not going to be getting access to me, okay? So you need to understand that this is a tug of war when it comes to no contact. If you're breaking no contact, especially when you're breaking it after some sort of disagreement or he has wronged you and for whatever reason there's no contact, because the other thing that guys are going to go no contact for is when there's friction in between your boundaries and your standards and how far he wants things to be pushed along. I'll give you an example of why a guy would go no contact for you having a lot of boundaries. See, let's imagine that you go on a first date with the guy, and on this first date when you're eating this meal, you're slurping up your spaghetti, you got spaghetti sauce all over your face. He's got fettuccine Alfredo, so he's got white sauce all over his face. Duh, get your mind out of the gutter, okay? And on this dinner date, he's like, well, wouldn't it be nice for us to go back to my place and drink some wine? And you're like, no, I've got some stuff to do, and I'm not really in like a going back to the, your place type mode. And then he's saying, well, I took you out on this fancy date. You're slurping spaghetti. You got spaghetti sauce all over your face. I've got Alfredo sauce all over my face. We should go back to my place and clean each other up. And we should drink some wine. And you should clean me up. And there's spaghetti sauce also on my pee-pee. So you should lick that up for me so that we can all be clean and everything can be good. What's your problem? Why are you throwing a damper on things? Why are you being a party pooper? I thought we were getting along. What's the issue here? And let's imagine after going back and forth, you guys are in a no contact situation where you're not speaking to each other because you're like, well, I'm not going to go back to your place if that's what you expect, or that makes you upset. Good for you. Be upset then. I'm not going to change how I feel or how I go about my relationships because it upsets you. And see, this is an example of one of the ways that men are going to go no contact with you, aka give you the silent treatment in order to break you emotionally and get you to say, oh, you know what? My bad. I had boundaries. I had standards. I had things that I wanted. I had things that were important to me, but you going no contact with me has now broken me emotionally, and I no longer want to stand on those things that I was once standing on. So now instead, rather than doing that, I'm going to just capitulate to whatever it is that you want. So if you want to sit at your place after dinner or not even go to dinner and just sit around and watch Netflix all day on TV, in fact, we can watch my Netflix account. I'll log into my Netflix account. We can watch anything on there. We'll sit, we'll cuddle. I'll pay for Uber Eats. We'll get the Uber Eats, and then I'll sit down. I'll get on my knees and start slurping you up after I pay for the Uber Eats while you watch Netflix on my account, okay? And so these are the type of things that's going to happen if you're not aware that no contact is a tug of war. And if you lose this tug of war, you're going to be setting the stage for the rest of the relationship that when you have too much emotional pain and you're too emotionally overwhelmed with the fact that he's going to withdraw from you, that your life is over, that you can't do anything, you can't think about anything, you can't even live your life, he's going to say, great. So awesome. Now I know the key to getting everything that I want. Whenever I'm unhappy with her, whenever I don't like how she's acting, whenever I want her to act a different way, I'll just go no contact with her and I'll wait for her to break until she reaches out to me. And by the time she reaches out to me, she'll be ready to do whatever I want her to do. When in reality, it's supposed to be the other way around. You're supposed to be the one sitting at home. And if he messes up, assuming he messed up, he is the one outside your door with a boombox playing your favorite song or your favorite love song and saying to you, please take me back. Please, I want to be in your life again. Please forgive me and all that good stuff. Now, I'm not saying that if you make a mistake that you shouldn't apologize for your mistake. Don't go to the extreme here. What I am saying is if that guy makes a mistake, he's disrespectful to you, or for whatever reason, he's in no contact for a reason that seems outside of something that you actually did to him, I want you to be realizing that there's a war at play. Now, it's not a physical war. You're not using real weapons. You're using emotional weapons, and it's an emotional war to see who is going to break first and admit that my pain threshold, because this is essentially what it is, right? When you're going no contact with someone, and especially if you're going no contact with someone, they call it no contact, not because I'm never going to speak to you again or never plan to speak to you or see you again. I'm going no contact with you because I do still want to see you and speak to you again. I just want you to want it also. And I want you to want it so badly that whatever we were disagreeing on, whatever we were arguing about, you say, my bad, I apologize, I'm willing to fix this, okay? And so a lot of guys are going to go no contact with you because you're wondering, what is he thinking? A lot of guys are going to go no contact with you as a way of getting you to believe in the idea that you did something wrong, win this tug of war, when there shouldn't have even been a war of who is right or wrong in the first place, because he may have mistreated you, or he may be trying to push boundaries, or he may be trying to cross boundaries that should be there and you should have, or things that you should feel that way about, but he wants you to feel like you're doing something wrong. In the process of you feeling like you're doing something wrong, what are you going to do? You're going to break no contact. And when you break no contact, you're going to come to him and say, look, I thought that, I was okay being without you and not speaking to you, and I thought I had these boundaries and these standards. Let me rearrange my wording here. I think that those boundaries and standards were too much. I'm going to take those boundaries down a notch, and hopefully when I take those boundaries down a notch, you'll like me again. You'll want to talk to me again. You'll want to be around me again, and everything will be all good. I want you, listen to me, get your hard hat on. Get your hard hat on, all right? Stand up straight. Sit up straight if you're in your bed. Get your hard hat on. We're going to war. We're going to war. All right? This ain't a game. I know that you think it's a game because, it's love and, it's relationships and boyfriend and girlfriend and Disney princess. It's war. Okay? We want you to get treated like a princess, but you have to understand you're going to be in a war. Okay. And when I say you're going to be in a war, I mean that you're going to have to stand on some things first so that you can ensure for the rest of the relationship, you can relax and receive princess treatment. Okay. I'm going to get mad early today. It's so hyper important that you understand the importance of everything that you're doing here, especially at the beginning, especially when things are just starting off and you haven't built that foundation yet and it's not rock solid in cement yet. You need to be making sure you're hyper aware of how much of a war of power this is, that you establish. You have the leverage, you have the control. Things are going to be on your terms when you want them, how you want them. And if he wants to have access to you, he has to meet your expectations, okay? And you really want to be establishing that dynamic as early as possible. If you lose your grip on that dynamic, on this war, you're down the line. When it's 2-3 years down the road, you're going to be committed to a man who is not really committed to you, doesn't have respect for you, doesn't listen when you talk, and has no fear when you set boundaries that if he crosses those boundaries, there will be consequences. See, the best thing that you can do is understand at the very beginning, there's always going to be a tug of war, especially in the no contact. They're like really small instances to show that guy,
What are you willing to do whenever you reach a pain threshold, or what's going to happen when I withdraw from you, right? You're showing him if when your pain threshold is reached, what are you going to jump out the window and do? And so it's very important to help him understand I'm not going to be moved or shaken off of my point, off of my boundaries, off of how I feel just because you don't talk to me for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. It is hyper important you establish that from the very beginning, because what that will tell him is, cool, now I know that tactic doesn't work. So if I act like an idiot, if I do something disrespectful, if I cross a boundary, I'm actually going to have to apologize and take action after my apology, not just go no contact and force her to be okay with everything that's going on. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is why you want to set that stage early on so they don't get into the mindset that for them, the best solution to anything that goes on in your relationship is to go no contact until you basically apologize, even if you're not even supposed to be apologizing for anything at all. Okay? We don't want you jumping out the window to apologize when there's nothing you should be apologizing for, right? Does that make sense? Gabriela says that this makes me feel so much better. It should. It should. And I want you to use this as well to gain some confidence and some strength and some power emotionally, to understand that there is no reason for you to break. And if you do break, it's only going to be hurting you in the long run. I want you to never forget this, okay? You're showing him. I know that I make this sound so crazy deep. That's because life is deep, and it's a lot deeper than you think it is. You have to understand, especially at the beginning, you're showing people how you respond to them given certain circumstances or based on how they treat you. So if you show a guy that when he goes no contact with you, you will come back in the exact way that he wants you to come back, and you'll start apologizing for things, even if he was the one in the wrong, then you're literally showing him what the best solution is for the rest of his relationship with you, or talking stage with you, that anytime he does something wrong, rather than apologizing, if he just goes no contact, then you'll be forced to apologize or allow him to cross those boundaries simply because you don't want to go no contact anymore. Okay. Lee says, so you never break no contact. 100%. You never break no contact, especially if you're going no contact because of something he did to you, a boundary that he crossed of yours, or a way that he disrespected you. Now, if you're going no contact because you're the one that disrespected him or crossed his boundary, or, you actually have something to apologize for, that's a whole different story. Let's go ahead and assume here that he's going no contact with you for a reason outside of something that you actually did to him. And when I say actually did to him, I mean like actually being disrespectful to him. Notice that I didn't say not sleeping with him, okay? Because not sleeping with him is not being disrespectful to him. You're not disrespecting a man by not sleeping with him. You're not disrespecting a man by having boundaries, okay? I want you to understand there's a difference, and I don't want you to be thinking anytime a guy goes no contact with you, it's because you did something wrong. This is where you have to have a little bit of discernment to be able to say to yourself, what's the difference between me actually doing something wrong in this situation and the fact that he's going no contact because he's trying to win the emotional war and get me to apologize for something I should have no business apologizing for because you're the one that wronged me or was disrespectful to me in this situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Right. So number one is understanding the tug of war that is going on in your relationships at all times, and why it's so important to be on top of the war at the very beginning, because if you lose that emotional war, you're going to allow that man to know that anytime you reach your pain threshold, you will be motivated and you will instantly do whatever it is that he wants you to do and forget about all the things that you are willing to stand on. Okay. One of the worst things you can do when you're going no contact with someone, especially if you go no contact with them after telling them, hey, if you do this thing, I'm not going to speak to you because I don't tolerate this at all. If you tell someone that, you really can't speak to them until they apologize to you, come on bended knee, and show you something different. If you go no contact with someone because they crossed your boundaries and you told them that if they crossed your boundaries that you wouldn't speak to them, you can't then go back on that and reach out to him after he crossed your boundaries and you were supposed to go no contact, or this was supposed to be no contact because he crossed your boundaries. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anytime there's no contact because he's crossing your boundaries,
Do not reach out to him because you will lose this emotional war. Do not. Okay? Do not. I can't stop saying that. Do not. Don't text him. Don't FaceTime him. Don't Snapchat him. Don't nothing. Okay? We're going to get to all of those things right now. So number one was the tug of war that I want you to understand holistically. Now, number two, I want you to understand what he's thinking about is using his best weapons and tactics on you. See, a smart man during no contact is going to know it's not enough to just go no contact. Smart men know that, okay? A lot of guys learn this. They learn that going no contact and just not speaking to you is not enough. Even better than just not speaking to you is increasing your pain level by actively showing you how good his own life is while he simultaneously doesn't speak to you. And also, even better than that, and these are actually the things I teach you guys to do because I know how painful it is from the opposite sense. Even better than that, this is what the really smart men think. If I want to use all my best weapons, I'm not just going to go no contact. I'm also going to make sure that I live my best life and have her seeing me live my best life while simultaneously making her feel like I don't care about her. I told you that this is an emotional war. So tell me in the chat if you've ever noticed a guy do this when you guys are going no contact. Have you ever noticed that when you go no contact with the guy, all of a sudden he stops watching your stories? Because I know you, me and you were friends. So I know when you're going no contact with the guy, you're picking up the phone and every time you post, you're watching your story and you're going, did he watch it? Did he watch it? Did he watch it? I posted my dump truck. My dump truck's looking real good in my tight jeans. Yeah. Did he see that one? Wait, what? I posted it like 3 hours ago. He hasn't even viewed it. No, that can't be right. Let me refresh. He still hasn't viewed it. How is that possible? Does he not care? And then you're checking the story every hour, looking through and scrolling through to hopefully see his profile picture that he's viewed your story and he's seen it. And you're saying you're disappointed every time that you scroll through. You scroll all the way to the bottom and you think, oh no, I must have missed his profile. Then you scroll all the way to the top again. You're like, no, I definitely missed his profile. You scroll all the way to the bottom again and you're like, no, he really didn't watch it. And you look like Boo Boo the Fool posting only to check if one person watched your story. And for some of you maniac psychopaths, trust me, I know you. We're friends, so I know you. For some of you maniac psychopaths, you're creating a close friend story and you're only putting him on the close friend story or the private story and posting, hoping to know if he sees and watches that private story. And when he doesn't watch it, you look like an idiot because you created a whole story for one person to watch it and that one person didn't even watch it, okay? Some of you guys are like, stop, how do you know? I know you. We're friends, okay? Me and you, we spend damn near every day together. Okay, I know what you really do. Now, other people ain't going to talk about that. I know what you really do. Okay, so I say that to say you have to understand guys know how to use their best weapons because they can anticipate what you're doing as well. Right? It's not that hard to anticipate that. And they understand how to put you at that very close to that pain threshold. It's not just about using the weapon of no contact. It's about also making you feel like he doesn't care about you at all now. Because that's just even more painful than feeling like someone hates you is feeling like, damn, not only do you hate me, but you actually, even more than hating me, you don't care about me. You don't notice me. You don't watch me. You don't care what I'm doing. You don't care where I'm at. You don't care who I'm with. You don't care how long it's been. You just don't care. And you see, guys understand that that's one of their best weapons is to show you that they don't care, especially during no contact when you want to feel the most like he actually cares. And you're questioning the most if he actually cares. And so in the process of that, right, he not only doesn't speak to you, but he also makes sure to not watch your stories. And let me know this as well. If in the process of him going no contact with you, have you ever noticed that the guy you're going no contact with seemingly has the most fun in his life and on his story when he's going no contact with you? When he's no contact with you, he's out at every party, every event, spending so much time with all these people. And you're sitting there thinking, when did you get so many friends?
When did you become so popular? How is it that literally every single day you're out? Every single day you have somewhere to be. You're drinking, you're having fun. There's a different party, a different event, a different thing going on every single day. I don't even remember you going out this much when you were with me or we were in a relationship or we were doing a thing. I've never seen you post this much before in your entire life. How do you now all of a sudden have all of this to do throughout the week? You seem to literally be going from one thing to another. Are these pre-planned? Are these even happening in the moment that you're posting them, right? Lisa's posting all the time, right? And I say that because these are part of the best weapons that guys are thinking about using on you when they're going no contact with you. They're thinking, right, guys, when I ask you if this has happened to you and all of you are saying yes, 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 do you see how it's not an accident? It's not a coincidence, okay? It's not by chance that he increases his amount of posts and the amount of going out that he does, or how fascinating and awesome his life seems to be, all of a sudden goes crazy when you guys are going no contact. It's also not a coincidence that all of a sudden now he doesn't watch any of your stories despite you posting damn near every 2 hours to try to see if you can catch him watching your stories. Okay, that's not a coincidence. It's definitely done on purpose. And guys are doing this on purpose because they're thinking about how to make you reach that pain threshold. I told you this is a tug of war, and overall, this is a war for power. So you have to understand, getting you closer and closer and closer to that pain threshold where you're going to say, F everything I once wanted, F everything that I once was thinking about doing or thinking about standing on, forget it. I just want you to watch my stories again. I want to feel like you care again. I want to feel like you want me again. I want to get your validation again and your attention again. So I'm going to reach out to you and apologize for whatever it is that I don't even know what I should be apologizing for. I just want to say sorry and do whatever it is that you want me to do. Okay? It's a great way, listen to me, a great way to turn a woman who wasn't even once a pick-me-sha into a pick-me-sha. Okay? A great way. Awesome way. Once he can do that and turn you into thinking about, hey, what should I be doing for you? How should I adjust or change myself based on what you want or what's important to you? He's won. He's won. He's the one. The war has been won by him. We don't want that, but that's how easy the war can be won when your mind starts going to that place. Oh, you're not watching my stories? What's wrong with me? Is it because my dump truck isn't big enough? If my dump truck was bigger, would you watch my stories? If I would have spread my legs wide open and allowed you to jackrabbit yourself inside of me for 90 seconds or less, would you have been watching my stories? If I was cooler and more fun and said yes to everything, would you have been watching my stories? Would you be texting me right now? Would you be begging me to go out on dates with you? If I had made things easier for you, instead of having so many boundaries, would you have wanted to spend your time with me instead of spending your time with this other girl or this other person or this other group of friends? Soon as your mind goes there, you're cooked. You're cooked. We don't want that for you. And I know that happens to you, which is why I want to make you aware of that. Guys are thinking about using their best weapons on you. And their best weapons don't just include not speaking to you. Their best weapons also include making it look like they don't care about you. And it also includes making their life look as interesting and as fascinating as they possibly can while they don't speak to you. I'm thirsty today. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far? I want you to understand how important this is. And I know when I'm saying this, you're like, Tomisin, is it really that serious? Is it really that intense? Do I really have to be looking out for all of that? Like, that sounds like so much. Yes. You're in a war. Okay? You're in an emotional war. And you want to make sure you come out of this emotional war victorious. Because it's okay. It's about two things. First of all, if he's approaching you, you have all the leverage, so you need to keep your leverage, okay? You need to keep your leverage physically and emotionally. Number two, you want to be showing him that you're not someone that can be moved or shaken easily. That's the other thing that you're setting the foundation of. if he can see that he can get you to be moved or shaken very easily, then he's going to know he can have a lot of emotional control over you. And that's going to tell him, great, now I'm going to exercise my control in a plethora of different ways. You want to show men from the very beginning when you're meeting them, because men are going to try to test you. Let's just be so for real. And we've had a whole show on that. You need to understand that from the very beginning, you want to be showing those men that are trying to test you, look, I'm not someone that can be emotionally controlled. You can't use these strategies to try to get me to reach this pain threshold that I'll just be like, oh, F it, I'll just do whatever you want me to do, right? And when you show him that you can't be emotionally controlled, he then has to sit back and make a decision and ask himself, well, okay, if I'm going to be in this relationship with her and I can't emotionally control her, then my options are act right or not be with her. So if I know I'm only here to mess around and I'm only here to take advantage of her and try to control her and get her to do as much as what I want her to do, then he's going to say to himself, this is probably a waste of my time if I'm not here to actually be a good man to her. Because if I'm not here to actually be a good man to her and I just want to emotionally control her, then if she can't be emotionally controlled, what am I wasting my time here for? Okay? And I need you to understand some men are just looking to emotionally control you. And when it comes to actually being in a relationship with you where they have to respect you, they're not interested in doing that. Some men, not all men, okay? Some men. And you want to weed those men out. And you also don't even want to give them an opportunity to think that you're one of those women, okay? Because there are women out there like that will be controlled that easily, okay? Right? Kitty said, so you got to turn it around them. Exactly. And the way that you turn it around on them is by not allowing it to affect you or change the way that you act or whether or not you reach out to him. Don't do anything. I want you to be thinking throughout this whole show, no matter what he does, no matter how he presents himself, no matter what strategy he uses, I am not going to budge. I don't do anything. And for a lot of you, I want you to not even be showing him any attention whatsoever. Don't be watching his stories back. You want to be muting him as well so that you're not even tempted to watch his story or they don't even pop up on your timeline. Because you don't want to be putting yourself in more pain as you're watching him living his life and thinking to yourself, damn, he's not watching my stories. And then you start thinking, maybe I'll reach out to him, because your mind will play a lot of tricks on you and convince you of a lot of narratives so that you can start thinking, oh, maybe the best thing to do is to reach out to him. Okay. Right. And so someone asked, so we shouldn't post. We're going to get to that right here in a second. All right. We're going to get to that. So number one was the tug of war. Then number two, we talked about him thinking how to use his best weapons to his advantage to get you to reach that pain threshold. Now, the number three thing that he's thinking about, and I really, really mean this. I really mean this. I'm so serious about this. And this is honestly stop pooping time. All right. So I want you to be paying attention to this. Number three, he's going to be looking out for the signs of victory. Okay? All of these are kind of war related because like I said, this is a war, right? This is an emotional war. He's going to be looking for the signs of victories. Now, what are examples of signs of victories? Okay? So if he's not watching your stories all the time and you're watching his story in the first 30 seconds, I know this sounds, oh, wow, what? Is this what we're doing in 2024? This is the type of advice? Yes, because this is what we're really doing in 2024. Relationships live just as much on the internet and online as they do in real life. Let's just be so for real. So if he's able to see that in the process of you guys going no contact, you're watching his stories in the first 30 seconds, what do you think he's thinking in his mind? Oh, we're close. Fellas, just hold on a little bit longer. We're close. We're just about to get to the finish line, right? And I'm so serious because it's not magic, okay? They know, they're not stupid. They know if they're posting and every time they post, they automatically see that you're watching his stuff in the first 30 seconds. They know you're thirsty and you're hungry and you're on edge and you probably got his notifications on, which is why you're there in the first 30 seconds before he can even finish typing, you've already watched it. Okay. And so they know that that's a clear telltale sign that you're very close to your pain threshold here. And any day now you're about to reach out to him. Okay. right? They also know, and this is the really, this is where I want you to be very clear on this, because this is something that I want you to understand, and I want to bring you a little bit of clarity. Remember how we just talked about earlier, one of the best weapons he'll use to put you in a lot of emotional pain is making his life seem really interesting, posting a bunch, going out to a bunch of places. Now, on the other side as well, it also is a confirmation to him if you start posting in ways that is unnatural to you. Okay? I want us to table this, and this is why I called this Stop Pooping Time, because this is a very nuanced topic that I want to discuss with you a little bit so you can understand this a little bit better. See, one of the mistakes that you will make during no contact is, of course, you're going to want him to watch your stories, and you're going to want him to see what you're doing and be jealous and whatever and reach out to you. Nothing strange about that. But here's the thing. You don't want to make it so obvious that you're trying to get his attention that you end up overdoing it and making it obvious that you're trying to get his attention. You want to be natural in the way that you post and in the way that you go about no contact. Why? This is the very important thing that I want you to understand how to balance. And I know this is 2024 stuff, okay? So probably the older people that call themselves dating gurus won't talk about this, because this is the stuff that we're really going through at this age, okay? At the time that we're in, the generation that we're in. You need to understand it makes you look unnatural when you're posting in a way that you never used to regularly post when you guys were fine. Now, if you're a serial poster, you like to post about memes and yourself and your outfits and everything that's going on with you at all times of the day, and that's normal for you to post 5 times a day, then that doesn't look unnatural. Now, if you're someone that never posts and your last Instagram post on your main profile was like 2 years ago, and you're never posting stories, and all of a sudden when you go no contact, you're posting fit after fit after fit after fit. You're going out here and going out there and you're posting everything. You're like literally like a day in the life with me on your Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat story, and you never used to do that. That is a clear telltale sign that you're now close to reaching your pain threshold, which is why you're jumping out the window and trying to compensate by overposting. Okay? You don't want to be overposting. Now, I didn't say you should never post, but I want you to be cognizant of what is natural to you and keep it natural. Okay? There's a way to go about posting where you make yourself look unbothered rather than making yourself look like you're compensating for something. Okay? Because clearly, you see, the thing about it is you might be like, do people really notice that? Think about it. When we just had this conversation earlier about how guys will post extra when they're in no contact with you, it's clear and obvious to you, especially when you've been with someone for a while or you're starting to get to know how someone acts when it comes to social media. You know what rate someone posts at, the type of things they post, how they post. You get familiar with that. So when someone deviates from that, it becomes obvious that they're either trying to compensate or something has changed. You understand what I'm saying? And so I say that to say it's the same thing with you. Those guys are able to tell the difference between when you're posting naturally because you're unbothered and you don't care, and that's what you regularly would be doing, or when you're over posting, trying to compensate and make it look like you're just, so unbothered and your life is so great and so amazing while you're in no contact, right? Because that's also, and I know that sounds weird and a little bit counterintuitive, but that also can be a sign that you're close to reaching your pain threshold. And then the guys know, okay, if I continue to pull back and just continue to go no contact, continue to not talk to her, not reach out to her, soon, very soon, she's going to be reaching that pain threshold. And when she reaches that pain threshold, I will be victorious. Okay? Electric Feel donates $20 in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much, Electric Feel. Electric Feel says, but what does it mean if you don't ever watch his stories, but he watches yours? For years, no contact, he is still watching. I'll let you guys in on a secret. Sometimes guys are just watching because they want to see what you're doing, but they don't care enough to actually reach out to you to ask you what you're doing. Okay? I know that this sounds weird, but you have to understand, sometimes guys will mess with a girl, and in the process of messing with the girl, they don't mess with her anymore. And if they come across your profile, they'll look at what you're doing to pre what you're doing and what's going on with you, but they don't actually care enough about what's going on with you to like reach out to you and ask you what's going on with you. There's like a little bit of the best way for me to describe it is when you get a girl vulnerable enough and you sleep with her and you like have her, like she's yours, even in the capacity of like a situationship, right? Where you're like, at one point I had access to you where I could call you up anytime, text you anytime, see what's up with you anytime. Guys will always want to see what's up with you, reminiscing on the fact that at one point I had you how I wanted to have you. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that he wants you back or he wants to be with you again, but it's almost like, and I hate to make this sound really horrible, I want to describe to you how guys think though. It's going to sound horrible. Please forgive me. Guys are going to look and say, oh, I kind of want to check up on something that was once mine and belonged to me. And so they just want to see what's going on with you, just to see what your life is like now and see what you're up to if you're with someone, and see what your life is like, because it's like at one point you belong to me, but let's see what you're doing now with your life. And sometimes they'll just check up on you just to see what's up with you now. But they don't necessarily have the intention of saying to themselves, hey, I actually want to be with you, or I actually want to take you out now, or I actually want to treat you right now. They just want to check up on someone that was once theirs. Just to be honest with you. Okay, that's in the scenario in which Electric Feel said, in which he's watching your stories for years, but never reaches out to you. Okay, that's what that most likely scenario is, just to check up on someone that was once theirs, but not interested enough to actually reach out. I know that sounds horrible, but it's just, like I said, it's an ego thing for guys when they have a girl and they have her emotionally and physically vulnerable because they've been sleeping with her, because they've been intimate with her. It's like an ego boost to them where they say to themselves, yeah, I had you one time. And they're almost like reminisce with their ego and in their mind and in their spirit, like, yeah, I had control of you at one point. And they reminisce on that by checking up on what you're doing. I know it sounds weird and strange, but I'm trying to explain it to you in the best way I can as a guy and from our perspective, even though I know for you it doesn't make any sense. Okay? Jamara, I like that name. Jamara donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, can you explain the importance of ignoring once he breaks? Because he breaks it all the time, but for mid-convo, I have a fear of ignoring him. That's actually a great question, and I want to address it. This is how I'll address it, Jamara. When he breaks no contact, and he is now asking you, or sorry, he comes to you, and like you said, it's a mid-convo. You want to be making sure when men break no contact with you, if you're going to respond to them and entertain a conversation with them, the only way they should get to break no contact with you, especially if it's coming after or on the heels of him doing something to you, disrespecting you, not treating you right, not being, or even just as simple as, look, I expect princess treatment. You haven't been giving me that. Things have been kind of fizzling out. You want the guys to only get access to you again if they're there, if they're breaking no contact, to say, I need to make an adjustment. You don't want to allow guys to break no contact to just be like, hey, what's up with you? Right? Because this is another one of the things too as well. And I'm actually glad that you mentioned this, because this is something that I want to bring up. Sometimes guys will do a version of breaking no contact that's not actually breaking no contact. They'll just message you to see if by the time that they message you, and I should have put this down in the best weapons, because they'll message you just to see if by the time they send you a message like, hey, what's up? You'll be like, oh my God, I was waiting for you to message me this entire time. I was missing you and wanted to be with you so badly. And now that you finally messaged me, this is my time to let you know that I love you so much and I want to be with you and I want us to get back together. Because you know what he's going to say right after he says, hey, what's up? And you say all of that. He's going to say, oh, cool. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You're in pain. I don't need to apologize for anything. We'll just go back to doing what we were doing. And let's see if now that you've spilled to me how much pain you're in, let's see if you'll become a pick-Misha and start doing whatever I want you to do because this experience was so painful for you. Okay? So I say that to say, Jamar, when guys come back from no contact, you want to be not giving them anything unless they're coming back in a way where it's like, let me acknowledge what I did wrong and how I need to adjust my behavior. You don't want, see, the thing is, like I always tell you guys, the men in your life aren't stupid. They're a little bit emotionally stunted, but they're not stupid. So they know if they disrespect you or they're not treating you like they should, if they're taking this relationship serious, they know that they've been doing that. So when they come back and they just say, hey, what's up? How you doing? and then they proceed to do the exact same thing they've always been doing, then they know that they're doing that. They're not dumb. It's not like they also know that if they actually were apologetic for what they did, and they knew that they weren't going to get access to you unless they actually fixed what they were doing wrong, they know how to come back and apologize for that and acknowledge their wrongdoing and adjust behavior. Guys know how to make adjustments if they want to make adjustments. They pretend not to know how to make adjustments because it behooves them, and playing dumb will allow you to do all the work. Okay, I'll make you guys aware of that. Does that make sense? Right? Gigi says, so we need to set the boundary when they reach out, or just ignore. What I want you to do is see, if a guy is going no contact with you and he breaks it to have seemingly useless conversation with you, I want you to ignore him unless he breaks no contact, specifically to do what we would call in the Players Club, to hold a boombox outside of your window. What I mean by that is the same way, because you guys love the teen dramas, in the same way in the teen drama, when he's outside, when the boyfriend is outside the window with a boombox and he's playing the love song because he wants his girl back and he wants to figure out how they can be together again. Yes, that's how you want a man approaching you after no contact. If you actually want to see the results that you want to see, you want to win the emotional war, and you want to get him to act how you expect him to act, if he's going to be your man and he's going to get access to you. If he's not approaching you after no contact for the purpose of a boombox moment or apologizing or with the intention of adjusting behavior, then do not respond to him. Don't message him back. Don't do nothing with him, because you don't need to. He's not even in a mind state to adjust behavior or feeling like he needs to fix behavior. So how can you even say to him, I expect this and I expect that, and this is what I want, and this is how I feel, and this is what I expect from a man that's going to be with me? See, because when a man comes to you with a boombox in his hand and he says, please take me back, or please, whatever I have to do for you to forgive me, I'll do it, and you tell him, I expect this from a man, I expect that from a man, and I expect this from a man, what do you think he's going to say when he's come to you with the boombox? He's going to say, done. Whatever you want, it is done. I already want to do it. I want to make whatever adjustment you need me to make. Please let me know. And now that you've let me know, it is done. I have no problem making that adjustment. If he comes back to you not ready to make an adjustment, and you start telling him all the ways he needs to make an adjustment, all he's going to do is push back on you and tell you why what you're saying is wrong, right? And why what you're saying is untrue. Okay. Gigi says, what if they don't know that they did anything wrong? Well, let me let you in on two secrets here. First of all, guys aren't stupid. Okay. Guys are not stupid. When they mistreat you or don't treat you right, they're not idiots to know that they didn't treat you right. Now, the second thing that I want to be a little bit more nuanced is there's a difference between, I want you to understand, there's a difference between having a disagreement in which someone might be unaware of how they might have upset you. And there's a difference between that and a nuanced situation and someone literally treating you disrespectfully or not having any respect for you or the relationship, and they just don't care. So they pretend to not know what they did because they don't care to know. Do you understand? And this is where I want to have a bit of a conversation with you, because that's a good question. And I don't want any of you to be confused between the difference between communication and trying to explain to someone who already knows what they did wrong. Let me give you an example of that. If a guy shows up on a date with you 2 hours late, right? And he doesn't address it or apologize for it, and you're thinking, maybe I shouldn't go no contact, or I should let him know that I'm upset because he showed up 2 hours late for a date. No. He has critical thinking skills. If he were to sit down to himself, if someone held a gun up to his head and said, hey, tell me why that girl is upset with you, and he were to think to himself, I wonder why she's upset with me. Maybe it's because I showed up for a date that was planned at 8 p.m. I showed up on that date at 11 p.m. That's why she's upset. And the reason that I say that is because guys are capable, if they really want to use the critical thinking skills to understand how they wronged you. Now, while I can admit that, I want you to understand that there are nuanced situations in which both parties could be at a disagreement and have different perspectives, where he might not necessarily know that this specific situation made you feel a way about it. Or even if he knows it made you feel a way, he might not not know exactly what it is you need to resolve the situation. Now, those situations are usually more nuanced and they come in the process of a relationship. I'll let you in on a secret. A guy who's disrespecting you, who's not even your boyfriend, right? And who hasn't even shown himself to be someone who's committed to you and building a relationship with you, he's not disrespecting you of accident because he doesn't know. He's disrespecting you because he just doesn't care about this relationship. Now, a man who has shown himself to actually be invested in you and this relationship and your happiness and want to build with you, there's a difference there. He might make a mistake unbeknownst to him and actually want to make an adjustment, and communication would actually benefit that situation. The reason I want you to know the difference is sometimes I know that you guys are thinking maybe he doesn't know, which is why he disrespected me, when he hasn't even shown himself to be someone who's trying to build a relationship with you in the first place. And there's a difference there. That's not because he doesn't know. That's just because he doesn't have the intention to know or care. Following me? Right? So, tug of war, number 1. Best weapons, number 2. And the signs of victory, number 4. Now, number 3. Now, number 4 is what I call battening down the hatches. Because, see, there comes a point where he realized, let me take a sip of water, I'm thirsty. There comes a point where he realizes, okay, I want to be prepared for the onslaught of emotion that's going to come at me. And see, the thing about it is, when guys are doing no contact, right, and you break the no contact or you reach your pain threshold, they're going to mentally prepare themselves for the ways, it's going to sound horrible, but the ways that they're going to gaslight you into helping you to believe in the idea that you did something wrong and you are the one that needs to make an adjustment. You see, because like I said before, if you're going no contact and this no contact is kind of stemming from things that, whether it be he's not taking this relationship seriously, he doesn't seem to care, he doesn't seem to treat you right, he's not giving you princess treatment, or maybe it's just fizzling out. By the time you come back and you've reached that emotional threshold, he's now going to be battening down the hatches because he knows when you come with that wave of emotion, all he has to do is stay put, right? Stay the course, not say anything, and not apologize for anything while you spill over emotionally and spiral down a dark path, down a dark hole, okay? And when you spiral like that emotionally, he's going to say to himself, great, this is great. You're spiraling, so you're not going to realize that I actually have something to apologize for myself. I actually have something that I did wrong myself. I'm actually supposed to be the one coming to you and trying to work on this and fix this and adjust this. Now you think that you're the one that needs to make all the adjustment, makes all the fixes, do all the planning, do all the apologizing, and that's great for me, the man, because when you do all the apologizing, now in the future, you're going to be thinking anytime we go no contact, you're going to have in your mind this past situation, and you're going to be thinking we're going no contact because I did something again. So even if he does something to you, no contact is always going to feel like I did something to him. And like I said before, it's going to become a great strategy to use whenever he wants you to feel sorry for him, even if he is the one that did something to you. Great role reversal. And it's even better because when he does this the right way and he does this the first time, it becomes easier every time after that. And see, no contact doesn't just become something where he's withdrawing himself anytime that you disrespect him or do something wrong to him. It also becomes a way to avoid and escape having to acknowledge doing any wrong himself, even when he's clearly in the wrong. Because going no contact for you will be so painful that you'll forget that no contact isn't even stemming from the fact that you did something wrong. It's actually stemming from the fact that he wants to avoid having to acknowledge doing wrongdoing so that you feel so much in pain that you apologize to him for nothing. Literally nothing. Okay? Let me make sure I didn't miss a super chat here. Regina says, how long before he returns? Have not spoken to him since day one. No contact. We have not had pineapples. So actually, this is a great question, Regina, and I want you guys to be aware of this. I'm going to be real with you. For some of you in a no contact situation, it's going to be a never contact situation, because you have to understand, like I mentioned, and this actually kind of goes along with the point that I talked about. When guys are battening down the hatches, they're going to be preparing themselves for the worst. And when I say preparing themselves for the worst, I mean the scenario in which he does not want to be around you or with you if he's not going to get emotional control over you. So if he really is serious about this no contact to break you emotionally, he's going to say to himself, unless she breaks no contact and comes to me apologizing for absolutely nothing just because she wants us to return back to our situation, if that's not the case and she's not willing to be a pick-Misha, I don't want to be with her. I don't want to be around her. I don't even want to speak to her, because unless I'm going to have emotional control over her, then I don't want her. I'm not interested in being in a mutual relationship where I respect her and give her princess treatment. No, I just want her to be a yes girl and a fun girl that I can call up at 3 or 4 a.m. whenever I feel like calling her up. If that's not the case, if she's trying to set boundaries, if she's trying to have standards, if she's trying to make me wait, yeah, no thanks. Okay. And the reason I say that is because that's not every guy, but I do want you to understand some guys that are going to come across you in your life and are going to start dating you are going to be looking to get you in that capacity and in that capacity only. They're only going to want access to you if it comes for free, and if you're going to do the most for him, if you're going to give him princess treatment while he does nothing for you. So the no contact is going to last as long as it takes for you to break. And if you never break, he's going to say to himself, well, I don't care, right? I only want you if you're going to be emotionally broken enough that I can manipulate you and control you. If I can't, then I don't want you. Which is why you have to understand why it's such a war going on, because you're showing those guys, I'm not going to be emotionally broken. And when they realize that, they have to come to a decision. Either I say, you know what? I apologize. I went about it the wrong way. I thought you were one of those other girls. Clearly, I need to respect you more than that. In the future, I won't be doing that. Because guys realize it doesn't work on you. And when they realize it doesn't work on you, they say, okay, pointless game, right? And you show them that it's a pointless game to try to use them withdrawing from you or pulling back from you as a way to get you to move off of your standards or boundaries, okay? Because like I always tell all of you amazing people, it's not that men are horrible people or horrible creatures or supervillains, even though the way I describe them makes them sound like supervillains, but you have to understand that people in general, and especially the men that you date, are going to try to push the boundaries as far as you allow them to be pushed. So if you show them that going no contact with them allows you to say, you know what, I thought not sleeping with you was a good idea, but in fact, I realized I should sleep with you as soon as you want me to sleep with you, they're going to say to themselves, great. So I'll just get what I want and do whatever it takes to break you down emotionally so that I can get what I want, however I want to get it, whenever I want to get it. And if you're going to continue allowing me to walk all over you, well, I'll continue to walk all over you. And it's not just a man thing, that's an everybody thing. If you don't stand up for yourself or set boundaries or force people to have standards who are going to be in your life, then people will say, cool, I will take advantage of you as much as you allow me to. So you need to start thinking to yourself how to not allow yourself to get taken advantage of, and to also show people that you don't need them. I know, okay. You know what? I'm going to talk about this in the next point because I don't want to go on too long because we're still on number 4. So we have the tug of war, number 1, the best weapons, number 2, the signs of victory, number 4, batten down the hatches was number 4. And the winner gets what they want is number 5. Right? I guess it's to the victor the spoils of victory, to the victor goes the spoils. I don't know how the saying goes. Anyways, you get my point. The winner gets to write the terms for the future, gets to write the Constitution, right? The winner of the war gets to write out that Constitution for the future and how everyone's going to go about it from there on. And remember, like I said, during no contact, you're in this tug of war, and whoever comes back on bended knee saying, I apologize, that I'm the one that needs to make an adjustment, and, we need to break this no contact because it's too emotionally painful for me, and I would rather speak to you than stand on these boundaries. You see, you have to understand that becomes the establishment for the rest of the relationship. and you show yourself to be someone that will move off of your whatever emotional or physical boundary you have set, simply because you're reaching a pain threshold that you don't like this guy not speaking to you. You also show that guy, once this has happened, right? You also show this guy that you care so much more about his attention than you do about anything else, than you even do about yourself, that his attention matters more to you than anything about your respect, anything about your own self-worth, anything about, standing up for yourself. Because his attention comes and goes with whether or not he's speaking to you or in contact with you. And so when he's in no contact with you and you're not getting his attention, your life is falling apart. And so you're showing him that he is the be all and end all of your life, that without his attention, without him coming into your life and bringing the sunshine into your life, you have none. There is no happiness without him. And see, here is the thing that I don't want to make this sound horrible, but I do want to give you this tidbit because it will help you in the war of relationships. You need to understand, people only value you when they feel like without them, your life is still amazing. In fact, maybe even a little bit better. The easiest way to get people to not value you whatsoever is to allow them to come into your life and feel like they are the best thing since sliced bread, and they have brought all of the happiness and joy into your life simply by existing in your life. Because it shows them that if I take myself out of your life, then I take simultaneously all of your happiness and joy, right? And you have nothing without me in your life. So you know what people say, you're thinking in yourself, what, shouldn't my partner be all of my happiness and joy? No, your partner should be part of your happiness and joy. But if they come in your life with the belief and understanding that they are all of your happiness and joy, they will say, so if I don't act right, but I don't apologize, and in fact, rather than apologizing, I take away myself, I take away her happiness and joy. So remind me again why I have to do anything for her when I'm all of her happiness and joy. Remind me again why I should be in fear of her leaving me if I cross her boundaries, or if I don't act the right way, or if I don't treat her the right way. I'm bringing all of the happiness and joy into her life. I am happiness and joy in her life. So why would I care about what she thinks of me? I'm already happiness and joy. It's not like if I walk away, she's going to have anything left. In fact, if I walk away, she'll have nothing. So anytime I take a step back, she'll be begging for me back so much, she won't care about having boundaries or standards. Why apologize for anything? Why care about being a good person? Why be in fear of her walking away from me? There's nothing to fear. I am happiness. I am joy. I am everything. I am sunshine. Okay? And I know that this sounds horrible, but I promise you, not only the men, but the friends and the family members and the people in your life that come into your life with the belief and the understanding that they have brought everything good into your life, and without them, there is nothing good in your life, they'll begin, after a while, thinking of how they can use that to take advantage of you. And the people that respect you the most and treat you the best are the people who will be in the most fear that, hey, if I don't treat you well and put my best foot forward, you will not be with me anymore. I know that sounds horrible because you're thinking to yourself, Tomisin, that's not good. Why should I have someone that I love be in fear? The person that I love should love me too, and it should all be about love, and this should be like a Disney princess movie. The thing that they don't talk about in the Disney princess movies is the only girls and women that get all of that amazing princess treatment from their men are the men who are in fear that, hey, if I don't put my best foot forward, she not gonna be with me. You have to understand how fear, while it sounds horrible, the word, can also be a motivating factor to get people to respect you and treat you well. And I'm not talking about the fear that you're going to hit him or the fear that you're going to do something bad to him, but the fear that, hey, on a daily basis, I got to choose her and I got to put my best foot forward here because this is earned, right? Getting access to her is earned through the way that I treat her. It's not just my right or my privilege that I deserve to have for being me. It comes with the way that I go about our relationship. And see, the fear comes in where they're saying to themselves, hey, I actually have to be thinking about doing my best here. Because if I'm not thinking about doing my best here or how I'm doing my best on a daily and everyday basis, then I'm going to lose out on the opportunity to be with this person, be with this woman. Okay? And I need you to understand that fear can be a good thing, right? See, even a fear of failure will motivate you. If you fear failing a test, because failing a test is not going to get you to pass the class, and not passing the class is going to get you held back, and getting you held back is going to make you not be embarrassed and not be with your friends, and you're not going to be able to graduate, right? Think about the things that you do for yourself, right? Simply from a fear of either failing or not doing well or be embarrassed. So I say that to say fear can even be a motivating factor to get you to do good things, not just, fear as in a bad way. This is why I always try to let you guys in on a secret that emotions aren't necessarily positive and negative, because you can get a lot of positive things out of what we consider negative emotions, and vice versa. You can get a lot of negative things out of what we would consider positive emotions. So you have to understand that in your relationships, fear is not a horrible thing. Now, there's different kinds of fear, but fear is not necessarily a horrible thing. And the girl and the women who are getting the best treatment from their men, you'll be surprised. They are in fear that, hey, she is a desirable woman. Everyone wants her. Everyone wants to be with her. And she has really high standards, which is why I treat her like such a princess, which is also why I'm consistent in my treating of her like a princess. Because if I don't, some other guy will come along and gladly do way more than I will ever do. Do you understand that? Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be something on the front of his mind every day, but it can be a subconscious thought that men have when they say to themselves, you're not going to take anything less than the best. Because that's what you know yourself to deserve. So you know that, and I know that you know that. So I'm going to make sure to put my best foot forward, because if I don't do that, you're not going to even be looking in my direction or giving me any sort of access to me. Right? Does that make sense? Right? Jamie says, nah, he treats me like garbage because he's in fear. This is why I said there's different types of fear. There's a good type of fear that can motivate a man to treat you really well. And there's a different type of fear. Well, there's a whole bunch of different types of fear that can present themselves negatively in your relationship for a plethora of different reasons, right? Guys can be in fear for a plethora of different reasons, and that fear can present itself in different ways that can be negative, which is why I say, right, life is nuance. You can get positive things from what we consider to be negative emotions. You can also get negative things from what we consider to be negative emotions. You can also get positive and negative things from what we consider to be positive emotions as well, right? Emotions are just emotions. What you do with them, how they motivate you, and how they affect you can be different for everyone in every different scenario, okay? But overall, fear can be good as a motivating factor to get someone to treat you well, okay? I'll let you in on that little secret, right? Says good fear motivates and respects your boundaries when they know you can walk away 100%. And you will see, this is the thing, whether you listen to me or you listen to anyone else, any good person that talks to you about relationships, any smart, intelligent person understands that a good, healthy amount of the right type of fear is good to understand as a partner, that if I don't live up to the standards and expectations that person has of a partner, then they will walk away from me, and they have no problem walking away from me if I'm not willing to treat them how they deserve to be treated. Okay. You have to understand that that's a good thing. right? I know some of you get nervous whenever I start talking about having boundaries and standing up for yourself and saying no to people, because you've been taught all your life that, hey, the best thing for you to do is say yes to everyone, because when you say yes to everyone and everything, that they'll like you way more. I'll let you in on a little secret. People actually like you better when you're capable of saying no to things and you're capable of walking away from things. Yes, some people will be frustrated with that. Some people will be unhappy with the fact that you don't just say yes to everything, but you will have a lot of people that respect you for being you and standing on what is important to you. Okay? And those people will love you for being yourself. The people who have a problem with you being yourself never really liked you in the first place. They only like the idea of being able to get you to say yes to everything. Okay. And I never want you to forget that. Even as we talk about no contact, I want you to understand this emotional tug of war that's going on, because guys are going to be thinking to themselves, if I can get you to say yes to everything, then I'll mess with you and I'll be around you. And I'll spend time with you. But if you're not going to be willing to say yes to everything, then I don't want to spend my time with you. But I want you to be okay with that. I can't remember who it was that was in the YouTube chat. I be seeing everything that was in the YouTube chat earlier that said, my phone is dry because I have lots of standards. What should I do? And the answer is nothing. Continue to have standards. In fact, continue to increase your standards so none of the trash men below your standards can ever get access to you or even sniff a whiff of your fart. You want your standards to be extremely high. You want to give no access to the men who aren't prepared to meet your standards. Why? Because by the time you finally end up in a relationship that you're going to be in for the rest of your life, that person is going to be with you ready to meet those expectations. You're not going to find yourself in a position where you're building a years and years worth of a romantic relationship with someone who is not mentally and emotionally prepared to meet your standards and expectations. Right. And you'll also be very frustrated if you lower. I found it funny because I think it was a couple of shows ago. Someone commented on I can't remember what video it was, but someone commented and said, it's even worse when you give ugly men an opportunity and then they play you like this. And this is where I want you guys to understand, never lower your standards or qualifications, whether it be physically, emotionally, the way he treats you, because you're thinking, oh, I'll probably get a guy who treats me better or is better for me if I lower this standard or lower this expectation, or I at least have access to more guys to want to take me out on a date if I date ugly guys. Oh, all the cute, handsome guys, they won't treat me well, so I'll get an ugly guy. Maybe he'll treat me well. When you lower your standards, thinking that you're going to get better just because you lower your standards, you're only going to end up even more frustrated when those guys play you too. So it's best for you to keep your standards high, keep your expectations high, and never budge or adjust them for anyone, no matter what. It doesn't matter how cute he is, doesn't matter how handsome he is, doesn't matter how amazing of a smile he has, how tall he is. Don't change your standards or rules or expectations or boundaries for anyone. Okay. And the people in your life, right, that are in your life will respect you for not changing anything for anyone. Okay. Because they'll be ready to meet those standards or expectations regardless. Right. Nicole says, I've been played by so many ugly men. Now, here's the thing. If ugly men are your type, I had no problem with that. Then, continue being with the ugly men. But if you're saying to yourself that I'm going to be with ugly men because maybe the ugly men will treat me well, if you don't do, because remember, if you don't do all of the emotional stuff right, and you don't understand how you want to be presenting yourself so that you're getting and receiving princess treatment, then you'll be doing all of this the wrong way, whether he's ugly or whether he's hot. Okay, it doesn't really change much, because once they realize that you need their attention, you need their validation, they bring all that shining sunshine and light into your life, and you're the be all and end all of their life, and their attention on you is everything to you. They will figure out how to utilize that and manipulate you within that. Okay, do not give people that. Not that you shouldn't care about people, not that you shouldn't want to be around people and show them affection and show them love. You should, but you should show that to people who are also as equally invested in you. And even more than that, you should show that to people who actually know how to utilize that the right way, not just utilize that and want to take advantage of you in that. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, right? Jasmine says to show the same love to yourself. 100%. 100%. Holistic says ugly or hot, decent. Doesn't mean they still could be evil. 100%. They still could be evil. They 100% still could be evil. Anyone is capable of manipulating. And I say that because we've literally had situations in the Players Club Discord, which we're going to hop into in a second, where people have been like, oh my God, look at what this guy did to me after I gave him a shot. Why did you give him a shot? Why did you change your standards and expectations of a guy that you're going to be with just because, he was ugly? Him being ugly doesn't mean that you should want to be with him because he's ugly, thinking that he'll treat you better. Okay, he'll treat you better because you present yourself the proper way and keep your expectations what they're supposed to be, and he'll respect you because you have particular expectations for yourself and what you expect from a guy you're in a relationship with. Okay, so number 1 was the tug of war. Number 2, your best weapons. Number 3, the signs of victory. Number 4, batten down the hatches. And number 5, the winner gets what they want. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? You guys have any questions about that? Nicole says, you also lower your guard sometimes when you, you also lower your guard sometimes when you lower your standards. I lowered my standards once. 26 years later, I finally ended it broken. Right? That's the thing, right? You want to make sure that whatever your criteria is, and maybe we got to have a whole show on that, on how to build your criteria, build your list, build your almost like your scripture that you go back to every time. It's like a template that you can go back to and realize exactly what it is that you specifically are looking for. Okay, because I know we have these conversations in general, but what you're specifically looking for is going to be different from what someone else is specifically looking for. And I want you to be thinking about what you're specifically looking for so that when you meet guys, you can be matching up what you're looking for, right? That's on your page or on your notebook, and saying, do you fit the criteria of what I'm looking for? If the answer is no, then that's perfectly fine. Just don't waste your time on that guy. You understand? And make your life simple. If you have really high standards and you're thinking to yourself, damn, that's going to be like less than 1% of men. Cool. You're not going to be with all the men that have ever existed on this earth. You're only going to need to find one man like that. So your life, as long as you continue having your standards and believing what you want and what you expect out of a relationship, your man will eventually come to you. You only need it to be one. It doesn't have to be every man. It doesn't have to be 10,000 men. Just needs to be one man. And see, the thing about it is you're joining the Players Club so you can be in the minority that gets all the amazing men. It's actually possible. Right? Because you're part of this and you're learning how to understand and analyze men and analyze their thought process and all that good stuff. So you'll be winning. Okay. Thank you so much to Iggy. It was Kitty. No, Kitty. It's Kitty there. Sorry, it didn't show your name properly. Kitty, who donates so much in the TikTok chat. I don't know how much 500 coins is, but that's a lot of coins, I assume. Okay. Valeria also donates 200 coins. I appreciate all of your amazing donations. Okay, guys? Now, that being said, it is time. It's an amazing time. It's an awesome time. And it's time for us to do the thing where we spend a lot of time, having fun, having laughs, having giggles, having cries, having tears, having anger. Okay, a lot of anger. It is that time. Can you tell me in the chat what time is it? I want to know what time it is. In the chat, what time is it? Can you tell me what time it is? In the chat, what time is it? I want to know what time it is. In the chat, what time is it? I want to know what time it is. In the chat now, what time is it? In the chat now, tell me what time is it? In the chat now, what time is it? Tell me what time is it? In the chat now, what time is it? I want to know what time it is. In the chat now, what time it is? I want to know what time it is. In the chat now, what time is it? I want to know what time it is. In the chat now, what time it is? I want to know what time it is. I want to know what time it is. I want to know what time. It's good day. Yeah. Okay, guys. So for those of you who are unaware, Discord time, for those of you who are new here, maybe you don't know what's going on. Discord time is essentially where all the amazing members of the Discord get an opportunity to ask, what was that? What was that? To ask me questions that was in the general chat. I don't know what you guys are posting in general chat. Let me make sure I get out of there. Where all your amazing people in the Discord get a chance to ask me a relationship advice question, and I answer it live on the show. What's going on? Is there NSFW stuff in the general chat? Sorry, we be having some interesting conversation in the chat in the Discord. Okay, never mind that. So there's two options of the relationship advice section. There's relationship advice, the regular version, where you guys can ask me a question and I answer it. It's first come, first serve though. So you have to understand there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions that I haven't answered. Every single highlighted question I have not yet answered. So if you asked your question today, it would be pretty much a month before I was able to get to yours, just because I have to answer them in order of the oldest one first, right? So because of that, there's a second option for you to ask your question into our Discord, where you can go into Relationship Advice Premium here, and it's like a VIP pass at a theme park where you get to skip the line of people. Instead of you having to wait, I kind of answer your questions first, and before I go to other people and answer their question. Okay, very, 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 very cool little tidbit there. Now, some of you are saying, how do I get into Relationship Advice Premium? I'll tell you how. You simply do it by going over to the link in my bio on TikTok. When you click it, you'll see where it says donate for a Relationship Advice Premium. You donate to the show. Make sure you make your Discord name first so you know what your Discord name is. You donate to the show. Put your Discord name and what you're going to make the title of your question. And then when you hop into Relationship Advice Premium and you make your question, I'm able to see on my end from my phone that was you, and that was you that made that question. And I can verify that that's you and keep it fair to everyone, so that way the only people getting to skip the line are people that have actually donated to the show, and it's fair for everyone. Do not do what ND did, because ND attempted to put in her question and not donate to the show. So I'm obviously not going to read ND because I can verify that from my end. Okay. If I see you guys doing that multiple times, because I can see your username. So if you put your question in relationship advice thinking I'm going to skip it and you're slick and I'm not going to realize that you didn't donate to the show and I'm going to answer your question without you having to donate, if you do that more than once, you got one chance to make that mistake. You do it more than once, you're going to get banned from the Discord. Very simple. I don't play those games, okay? Be respectful to everyone else that's waiting their turn. You're not more important than the program. Everyone else is just as important in terms of getting their question answered as well. So if it's going to be in the free section, you're going to have to be patient, all right? I say that, and let's hop into our first question in Relationship Advice Premium, and we'll get going here, all right? So Chan says, seeking advice on handling a complicated situation. So Chan says, I've been following your content for a little over a month now, and I can't help but wish I'd found you. Did I do this one? Wait a second. Wait, what? I thought I did this. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, sorry, and I can't help but wish I saw you sooner. You shared. I'm having like deja vu. You shared so much wisdom, and I've already learned a lot from you. Looking back, I wish I had approached my current situation differently. Oh, is Chan in the TikTok chat? I'm reading yours now, Chan. I'm 25, and since October last year, I've been involved with the 30-year-old, 1-year-old man I met online. Chan, this ain't looking good, Chan. Initially, I was looking for anything serious. I wasn't looking for anything serious since I had just ended a relationship. Okay, so this is already a bad start. Okay, already a bad start. I always tell you guys, if you're not looking for anything serious, then be by yourself. Okay, there's no reason to be exploring relationships or on dating apps or going out on dates if you know that within yourself you're not prepared to be dating. Okay, because you're wasting a lot of time that could be energy put back into yourself, and then when you are ready to date, then you just date. Okay, I know that for some of you, you might be like, oh, but Tomisin, I just want to have fun. I just want to be young. I just want to. Damn that. Okay. You can be young and have fun by yourself without dating people. And if you're not ready, then don't date people. It just doesn't make sense, because what are you supposed to do if you find someone that you want to date, but you're not ready to date? Now you're in a jumbled up mess. Don't do that. However, things felt different with him. and I decided to give it a chance. He mentioned early on that he is focused on his career and finances, so this connection was unexpected for him too. He made me feel special. Excuse me. He made me feel, so I guess, Chen, you weren't looking for something and maybe you just stumbled across him. It wasn't like you went on a date with him. Not like you weren't ready to date. Okay, I thought maybe you were saying you weren't ready to date. Maybe you're just saying in general you weren't looking for something. Yeah, because you said you weren't looking. I took it as you weren't ready to date in general. Sending me money. Wait, what? He's sending you money? Talking about taking me out and even discussing the possibility of me staying with him. Wait, so have you like actually met him yet though? And he's talking about sending you money? Essentially things that implied commitment. Okay, but has he actually met you? Okay, sending you money if he hasn't met you yet is not, that's strange. That's not the flex that you think it is. That I get that you're probably amazing, you look amazing, your dump truck's probably out of this world, right? But him asking this, talking about sending you money when he hasn't even met you, that's strange. That's something you would want to look out for, because that doesn't sound rational. Someone that wants to build with you. He told me he wanted to set a new standard for me. My previous relationship was my only one, and of course I got attached quickly. However, things took a turn in December. Our communication changed, and when I confronted him about it, he became upset. Wait, so have you met him yet, Chan? Telling me I was stressing him out. How? You haven't? Chat, did she say that she's met him, or did I miss that part? Online. Wasn't looking, focused on his career. I don't see anything about her meeting him in person. You were stressing him out. Eventually, he blocked my number, but he didn't block me on social media, which left me devastated. In March, I was surprised to receive a text from him, and he responded. We had several conversations after that, and he even initiated many of them. His birthday was in April, and I remembered it, so I asked about his plans. He seemed flattered that I remembered, and we ended up having a 2-hour conversation on the phone. I lost my place. Where'd it go? A 2-hour conversation on the phone that felt just like old times. During the call, I brought up the confusion I felt about us. He was open to discussing it. He acknowledged our connection and mentioned that if we met in person, he believed our bond would be even stronger. So this whole time, you have yet to... He's talking about sending you money and he hasn't even met you in person. This type of stuff just makes me mad. He also expressed concerns about being a distraction in my life, given my age, and assured me that our connection wasn't going to go to waste. How about, instead of having all of this Romeo and Juliet talk, why don't you guys go on a date first and realize if you even have in-person chemistry before we start talking about wasting a connection, distraction in my life, age, concerns, let's see if when you're sitting across from each other at a dinner table and you're looking in each other's eyes and you're having a conversation, let's see if you even feel anything or have a real connection going on first. How about we do that one first before we start discussing all of this if, ands, and hypotheticals, okay? Because it just makes me mad because I know that guys get you all hyped up, not horned up. I literally mean hyped up about the possibility of a relationship by yapping about all this stuff that hasn't happened. Okay. And when they get you hyped up like that, you start feeling like something is happening, even though nothing is happening. You haven't met that guy. So really, you don't know him. And until you actually know him and can even at least establish that, we have some sort of connection going on, there's nothing there. But you're feeling like there's something there, even though there's nothing. Just because he's yapping about stuff that he's not actually going to do. He's talking about sending you money. Never once did I actually see you say that he sent you money. So sounds good. In theory, he didn't actually do it. He talked about taking you out on dates and all this stuff and making you better than your last relationship and setting a new standard. He ain't actually done anything. The last time we spoke was the end of April, and while the conversation was brief, it was positive. In May, I decided to text him to see how he was. So basically what you're saying is that fizzled out into nothing. In May, I decided to text him to see how he was doing and mention that I saw something that reminded me of him. Unfortunately, I was left undelivered and haven't heard from him since. Chat, you see why for the benefit of all of you mentally, I would love for you guys, when guys are just going on and on and on, yapping about what they're about to do, I would love for you guys to just make the decision that, like, I'm honestly just going to allow this all to go in 1 year and out the other. Okay? Not because I want you guys to think that all guys are lying. That's not what I want you to think. But, like, cool, show me. Because, like, guys, I'll be honest with you, guys love to do this. They love to yap endlessly about what they're about to do. Even in life, I'm not even just talking about relationships. They love to build it up that this is about to happen and that's about to happen and blah, 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 blah. And they get you super hyped up and excited only to disappoint you. And you need to understand that the guys who are actually for real, will just do it. They're not going to yap endlessly. They're just going to do it. So when guys are telling you about all these things they're about to do with you in your relationship, never think that that means he's actually going to be intentional about you and in this relationship. Just assume that until he does that, he's not serious about it. Okay? Guys yap about this so much. Okay. And especially when the guys are pouring it on thick with the yapping and I'll buy you this. I'll buy you a Chanel purse. I'll spend all my money on you. I'll do this. I'll take you here. I'll take you there. And they don't actually do any of it. It's yap, yap, yap. Okay. The guys who are serious about it will just do it. Right. They won't have to talk about doing it a whole bunch. I suspect he ghosted me, and the longer I was left undelivered, the more embarrassed I felt. So you probably did something because you felt your ego was hurt. I told myself this would be the last time he'd hear from me because I won't allow myself to be embarrassed again. The message goes on, so let's see if you actually did it. My birthday was in June, and though I didn't expect much, I was curious to see if he'd reach out. What happened to him never hearing from you? He didn't, and while I wasn't overly disappointed, it still was disheartening. He even posted on social media that day, which I found strange. He just wasn't interested in you, and he wasn't serious. He was a yapper, not a doer. A lot of guys are yappers. You'll be shocked. A lot of guys, even I'm not even just talking about relationships. In their own life, they yap about what they woulda, shoulda, coulda, are about to do. They don't actually do anything. Okay, a lot of guys do that, right? Now it's August and I haven't reached out to him. I have a feeling he might come back because he has before. But April, May, June, July, August. It's been 4 months. I think that ship has sailed. You haven't even met that man. It's been 4 months of him not talking to you. That ship has sailed. Okay, Chan? But I was wondering how I should handle it if he does. I have to stand my ground and set boundaries this time. If he can't communicate, take accountability, or apologize, then I know he isn't worth any more of my time. I'm going to let you in on a rude awakening in a second. Also, if he isn't going to be serious about finally seeing me in person and taking me out, then I'm not interested in having a pen pal. It's ironic because in the beginning, he emphasized the importance of honesty and transparency. Once again, yap, 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 not actually doing anything. Yet his actions have been anything but. I would greatly appreciate your help in dissecting the situation and guiding me on how to proceed moving forward. Thank you so much in advance. Okay, so Chan, what I'll explain to you here, this isn't love bombing. Okay, that's not what he did. What he did, this is just called being a yap artist. It's the thing that guys do that they love to do to get you hyped up. Right? It's not love bombing, but they just get you hyped up about the possibilities of the relationship by telling you all the things that they're about to do, how this is going to be so amazing and so much different than everything you've ever experienced. They don't actually end up doing any of the amazing things they talk about because they're just yappers, okay? And a lot of times those same guys, that's how they live their life. They always talk about what they're about to do or what they should do or what they could do or what, I'm literally about to start this business and I'm about to be a millionaire and I'm about to be driving Lamborghinis and blah, 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 blah. And then you ask them what they've been doing 3 months down the line, they ain't done nothing. You ask them what they've been doing 6 months down the line, they still been working the same dusty old job, okay? And it's just a waste of time. Okay. Don't bother listening to it. Don't bother believing in it. It's yap until he actually does something. Especially don't bother believing in it if it's someone that you haven't met in person. Now, the second thing that I want to make very clear to you, Chan, is that, see, guys are, you have to have for yourself a threshold of where you decide to yourself, look, after a certain amount of time, there becomes a point where there's a point of no return. Meaning that, like, if you can't show me something after a certain period of time, you're done forever. I can't keep extending think about it like this. If you were in a classroom and you were a teacher and you had a student which you knew was going through some things or whatever it may be, and that student came to you and was like, hey, Miss Dump Truck, you have a huge dump truck, but I really need an extension on my assignment because I got some things going on and I won't be able to get the assignment in on time. You might be like, okay, cool. Jimmy, you got some things going on at home. I'll give you an extension on the assignment because, you identify with what that kid's going through. And then, you give him a 1 week extension and then he comes back to you. Hey, Miss Dump Truck, I know you gave me a 1 week extension, but I got so much going on that I just couldn't get the project done. Could you give me another extension? And then you're going to say, okay, I'll give you a couple days, another extension, Jimmy, but this really has to get handed in. This can't be a forever thing. And then he comes back to you after three more days and he says, hey, Mrs. Dump Truck, your dump truck's so big and voluptuous, but I have to be honest with you, I still haven't been able to get my project done. At a certain point, as a teacher, you're just going to have to say, look, I don't care how many extensions you have, how great of a person you are, how much you're going through, I have to give you an F. I have to. I can't continue giving you extensions until the class is over. Like, at a certain point, the extensions run out and the class is over, and either you did the work or you didn't. So I say that to say, for you in your situation, you have to start thinking to yourself, look, after a certain amount of time, there is no coming back or reaching out where I'm going to say to you, oh, okay, now let's see if you're ready to treat me right and treat this relationship right. After a while, you have to put your foot down and say, look, you're done. You had an opportunity, plenty of opportunities to show me that you knew how to treat me, knew how to approach this, and were even serious about taking me out and seeing me in person at the very least. You couldn't do that, and now it's been 4 months where you haven't spoken to each other. So basically, essentially, in 5 months, you haven't been able to get your act together and even see me in person once. Your time is up now. And Chan, I need you to adopt the mindset for yourself that, look, this is a job interview. You have a limited amount of time to show me something. If you don't show me something in that limited amount of time, you're cooked forever. Don't think that this is an open invitation that whenever you feel ready to actually treat me how you want to treat me, that I'll be waiting for you. No, everyone wants me. Everyone wants to be with me. If you don't have a sense of urgency, that's on you, but you're not going to get access to me. Sorry, too bad, so sad. And you have to adopt that mindset in the whenever you go into a relationship or a situationship. You can't be sitting around thinking, what should I do in 5 months when he comes back? Ignore him. Ignore him, Jen. That's what you do. Because he had 5 months to show you that he was actually serious, and he couldn't do that in 5 months. So there's nothing left for him to show you after that. He's shown you everything that he needs to show you in those 5 months. Next year, we have Springtime Girl. Okay, let me take a sip of water here. So Springtime Girl says, feeling confused and need your advice. Okay. Springtime Girl starts off by saying, thanks for your channel. It's so insightful and I appreciate all that you do. I appreciate you too. I met an amazing man over 3 months ago. We're in our late 30s and both been single for about 4 years. We were both in long-term relationships before that. We had been having pineapples from the beginning. Bad, I know. I didn't know about your channel back then. After a month, he said he wanted to build more with me, and everything has been great. He's been consistent, plans and pays for our dates. He's kind and intelligent and was clear on wanting to be exclusive, saying he doesn't like to see or even speak with more than one person at a time. Then a week ago, he said that he isn't ready for a relationship. He said he thought he was, but realized he isn't. He hasn't provided any further explanation. This blindsided me. I thought we were building together. I have let him lead on everything. I haven't asked for more this time or anything like that. He says he still wants everything to stay the same. Isn't that convenient? He wants everything to stay the same, dating the same, and staying exclusive. But he doesn't know if or when he will be ready for a relationship. Isn't that amazing how guys do that? It's like David Blaine how guys do that. It's like magic. I want us to reread this again so that we're all on the same page. He says he still wants everything to stay the same, dating the same, and staying exclusive, but doesn't know if or when he will be ready for a relationship. Wow. He has continued to be consistent, taking me out on dates, wants to take me away next weekend. Absolutely nothing has changed. He likes to go for walks, play chess, or go to the movies with me. It definitely isn't just about pineapples. I don't understand how what we have is different from a relationship. Is he just scared of the label? I'm confused and I don't know if I'm wasting my time and I don't understand what he's thinking. I really like him and want this to work, and I have told him he doesn't respond. I've told him this. He doesn't respond to this directly, but I'm feeling very confused and vulnerable. I don't know if it's best to just keep letting it play out now as he'll never be ready. Continue to keep playing it out or get out now as he'll never be ready, at least not with me. Keen to hear your thoughts. Okay. So I'm sure as you can anticipate by my reaction, your thing right now that you need to do is, okay, I don't want to be mean to him, but you got to get guys out of this limbo space. It's not your job, but you have to force men that are trying to put you in the same limbo space that they're in. You got to force them to make a decision. And you've got to be okay with whatever decision he ends up making. What I mean by that is, look, here's the thing. Great that you like me. Great that you treat me well. But if you're telling me that you're not ready for a relationship, you can't continue to allow yourself to be with someone that is telling you they're not ready for a future with you. Because what's going to happen is down the line, 3-4 months from now, or a year from now, or literally whenever he chooses, if he meets someone that he really likes, if he meets a girl that he really wants to date and be with, anytime he wants, he has a license to abandon you whenever he feels like abandoning you, and not even feel bad about it because he told you that he was going to abandon you essentially by saying that he has basically not ready. He's not ready for a relationship right now, and he doesn't know what he wants. And so it gives him a get out of jail free card where anytime he feels like, he wants to go and do something else, he can do something else. But all this time where, like you said, he's taking you out on dates, all this time that he's spending with you, all this time that he's going out with you, you go for walks, you play chess, you go to the movies, right? All this time, your attachment to him is growing and growing and growing and growing. And so by the time you get to the point where he says, you know what? Remember how I said I wasn't ready for a relationship? I'm still not ready, but now I realize that I'm not ready just with you though, and I want to be with some other girl. And you're going to be devastated because you've wasted months or years of your life thinking like, okay, I'll just continue going about this however he wants to go about this with no title or no plan or course of action. And then by the time you finally get to the end there, you'll be like, damn, I wasted all that time when I should have been I should have just cut it off then when he said that. So I say all that to say the decision that you need to make for yourself, that it will best benefit you, because you got to be thinking about what benefits you, not what benefits him. He would love to put you in a position where you're still acting like boyfriend and girlfriend without the title or the expectation of the title. That doesn't benefit you though. That only benefits him. So what I want you to do is you need to take all the steps back. When I say all the steps, I mean you do not speak to him, you don't talk to him, you don't message him, you don't contact him, you don't FaceTime him, you don't Snapchat him, you don't nothing with him. Here's the thing. He now has to make a decision when you do that. He now has to say, if you're not going to talk to me, if you're not going to be with me, he's going to be confused for a little bit, but he's going to eventually realize my options are either be with her for real, commit to her for real, or don't be around her at all. Don't hang out with her at all. And see, if he really does, this is where you're going to realize a lot of stuff. If he really does enjoy these walks and enjoy playing chess and enjoy going to the movies with you and all the stuff that you guys talk about, if he really does enjoy that, the process of you not being in his life anymore will be so excruciatingly painful that he'll say, I don't give a damn what I thought before. Rather than being in pain and not having her in my life, I will gladly commit to her if that means she'll be in my life. Because seeing what my life is like and what I feel like when I'm not with her and I don't have her is way more painful than to be with her. And so I've realized in the process of not having her around, I've realized how much I enjoy having her around. And that's made me realize internally why I want to commit to you. As weird as it sounds, sometimes it takes that absence for guys to realize that they want to be committed to you. And until you give him that space, he's never going to be able to realize that. And vice versa, he could also within that space realize that it's not that big of a deal to him and he doesn't care that much. But you need to get the answer for yourself, which is why you need to give him the ultimate space to think to himself and come to that realization. Is it too painful to not have you in his life and now he knows he wants to be with you? Or is it not that big of a deal and you're just kind of a placeholder? So it's like cool if you're there, but if you're not there, not a big deal type of thing. So that's what you need to do, and you'll get your answer one way or another. Either way, it's good for you, and you waste a lot less time getting that answer. Okay. Next here we have, let's see. In here we got. Make sure I don't answer the one that I was. I did springtime. Then it was ND. Okay, so yeah, I got to do. I'm skipping ND. Sorry, because ND didn't follow the rules. Didn't donate to the chat. Miss Amax did. So let's do Miss Amax here. Okay, so Miss Amax says, like the card. I'm about to get one of those. Hi, Tomisin. I am a 31-year-old female and single. Here's what happened. I have been in touch with a guy since 2019. Let's call him Mr. G. Nice. He reached out to me on a professional career platform via direct message. What, Slack or LinkedIn? You could just say LinkedIn. And that is how it all started. Okay, two professionals. I wasn't feeling him, but after chatting with him, I got to know a little bit about him. What, was he talking to you about his CRM experience, how he can connect you with HubSpot and, give you a lot of technical advantages in the workplace? He lives in Las Vegas. It's a LinkedIn joke for those. Some of you guys would be like, what are you talking about? He lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the reason he reached out was that he used to work at the hotel where I was working at the same time. We were consistently texting and we also FaceTime a few times within a 2-month duration. From our virtual interaction, it felt natural. It felt natural to speak with, so I'm laughing at some of what you guys are saying in the chat, with him because of similar goals, interests, and values. He offered to pay for my flight to go see him, but it never happened because our schedules were hectic, particularly on my end. Okay, not a problem. I mean, you guys are both LinkedIn warriors, so I'm sure you guys are both busy posting on LinkedIn, doing LinkedIn type of things, updating your resumes and all that good stuff. Even though I liked him, because of the long distance, with the fact that I am single, and with the fact that I'm single, I was dating another guy and became that guy's girlfriend. Let's call him Mr. S. I kept in touch with Mr. G. Now, Miss Amax, you know that's wrong. Miss Amax, we don't advise you to talk to other guys that you are romantic with while you're dating someone else. Okay? You're being a bad girl. You shouldn't be contacting Mr. G while you're dating Mr. S. And we kept giving each other life updates. Why are you giving life updates to Mr. LinkedIn, Mr. G? Stop talking about CRMs and talking about work pipelines and all that good stuff and giving HR points on LinkedIn to Mr. G. Okay, that conversation should be done now. We were each other's confidant. Your boyfriend should be your confidant, not Mr. G on LinkedIn. A few months into our relationship, I found Mr. S was cheating because a woman reached out to me on IG with receipts. I'm never going to say that you deserve to be cheated on, but what I will say is I don't think he would have been happy hearing that you were having constant conversation with a guy who was ready to fly you out on and date you either. Okay? Not that there should be an eye for an eye. I just, I have to point that out. I was hurt and confided in Mr. G and he told me to break up with him and that guy would more than likely do it again. I mean, he's not wrong, but you also have to understand you're going to someone who has feelings for you about your boyfriend. What do you think his most likely answer is always going to be? You should break up. Because who does that serve? That serves Mr. G. So I know that, yes, obviously breaking up with someone who cheated on you, yes, that's like the right thing to do. But like, even if it was something smaller, he's always going to recommend that the best advice is for you to break up with him because that benefits him. Doesn't really benefit you. So confiding in it's a conflict of interest when the person you're confiding in has feelings for you and was once romantic with you, and you're talking to him about your romantic experience with someone else because you're thinking you're getting advice from a perspective of someone who wants the best for you, when in reality you're getting the perspective from someone who wants the best for themselves and wants access to you. I wished I had listened to him because he was right. Okay. Mr. S kept cheating on me during our 4-year relationship. What did you just say, Miss Amex? I thought when you said that you were talking to Mr. G while you were talking to Mr. S, I thought that you meant like this was happening like, in the first couple of months of dating him. You're telling me for 4 years, you were in a relationship with Mr. S and continued to talk to on a consistent basis with Mr. G for 4 years, and he was your confidant? Do you know what they call that, Chad? Do you know? Because I would consider that, unless I'm an idiot, I would consider that to be like emotional cheating. Because why is your confidant someone who you were once trying to be romantic with? I don't think that if your Mr. S knew about the extent of your relationship with Mr. G or how you knew him, I don't think that he would be really ecstatic to hear that this is your best friend that you tell everything to. I'm not saying that you're a bad person because you did this, and I'm also not saying that you deserve to be cheated on. I would never say that. But I am saying that you ain't going about this the best way either. And I have to be real with you. And I found out he requested services from I don't even know how to pretend this, prostitute, and who lives in the apartment building where we stay together. I have a couple questions, some of which I won't ask because I just don't think this is the time or place. But I'll just say okay because I'll just say okay. I don't want to judge too much. I was devastated because no matter how many times I begged him to stop, the amount of tears I cried, and the couples therapy sessions we did, he still kept cheating. Okay. I have Miss Amex. I have quite a few questions here. Are you trying to say that this went on for 4 years? I'm a bit confused. You're talking to Mr. G while this is happening with Mr. S. Why didn't you're clearly building something with Mr. G? Why don't you just break up with Mr. S and be with Mr. G? I'm like confused why you're continuing to be in this. Okay. It just kept getting worse. He was going to spas for happy endings, and I found out he had hired a dominatrix. Okay. You're okay. Are you trying to tell me that I see somebody? So why are some people saying laxatives? I see you guys trying to. I see you're trying to tell me like I'm a bit confused because how is it possible for you to be experiencing this and actually think that the best thing for you to do was to stay with him? Not only is he cheating on you, but he's getting with prostitutes and pineapple workers and people that give out happy endings. How do you think you can possibly be in a relationship with someone like that ongoing? I was in disbelief. I found this out because I saw an email thread between him and his dominatrix. Like, what? Is he ordering the dominatrix to the house? Why do you guys keep saying laxatives? The dominatrix instructed him to get on laxatives to prep himself with a cucumber before she played with him. All right, chat. Let's take a break. Let's take a commercial break. All right. Okay. I was wondering why you guys kept saying laxatives. What the hell is going? Okay. What? What? There's what? 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 How are you? Why would you even still be with this guy after all this? I just, I don't get it, man. I feel sometimes like I'm living in a different part of the world or planet than some of the questions, because I can't really understand how you would even possibly want to continue being with someone at that point. I don't get it. You have a best friend in Mr. G. What's the point now? Her nicknames for him were Little Pig, B-Boy, I didn't even know how to bring this up to him because I was in so much shock. A few days later, he told me he wanted to have an open relationship. That was the last straw for me. Chat, you guys know that this question is in relationship like premium. So this person paid to ask this question. So for those of you that think this is fake, I'm actually in fear that this is very real. Because I just don't see how someone would pay to send in a fake question. Which is even more concerning for me that this is real. I packed my things and moved out. He couldn't believe that I finally left him, but it had to be done. I was disgusted even looking at him. He made me sick, and I wish I could tell he was extremely what would you say? He made me sick, and I could tell he was an extremely depressed and disturbed man. My mind was in a lot of mental distress during this point, so when Mr. G reached out to me to spend some physical time together, I just couldn't do it. That's like the first good decision you've made this entire story. I was dealing with a lot of stress and knew I wouldn't be able to be the best version of myself. I could tell he was upset with me, but I wasn't even able to tell him about the breakup and the details of what happened. I didn't ghost him or anything. I just wasn't as communicative. I need time to heal and think about my future. I keep thinking that perhaps I made a huge mistake and I should have invested in Mr. G instead. Last September, I reached out to Mr. G and told him that I was going to book a flight for December to finally see him, and he appeared excited. It was also for my birthday. I texted him the confirmation and we stayed in touch up until a month before my departure. I didn't text him either because from our communication, he said he would plan things. I thought it was strange and he didn't reach out to me even on the day of my arrival to Vegas. So I ended up texting him to let him know I was on my way to see him. I texted him that my plane arrived and he planned to pick me up. And he planned to pick me up, but because it was late, we decided to meet the following day. To my surprise, he texted me that he should have mentioned this earlier, but he was recovering from COVID. I'm sorry, man. It's just comedy. It's just comedy. He started texting me less and less. There I was in. Okay, let's get through this. There I was in Vegas by myself on my birthday weekend. I was devastated. Okay. Chat, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at her. Okay. But I'm honestly not laughing at her. But the situation, like, why would you do this to yourself, though? This is why I'm laughing, because it's not that you're a bad person, but like, why would you make such a fool out of yourself? Like, don't you even like read this message from a third person perspective and be like, why would you buy the plane? Buying the plane ticket is one thing, but why would you buy the plane ticket and then proceed to, like, after a month of him not speaking to you, think that it was a good idea to follow through with this? Like, if he's, never mind. If he is not going to speak to you leading up to you finally seeing him, after him telling you how excited he was to see you, like, come on. Like, I feel like you got to be smarter than that. How old are you? Come on, Miss Amex, you got to be smarter than that. He's not speaking to you a month leading up to you coming there. Like, I know that you're not that naive. You know what I mean? You're not that naive. He didn't even text me happy birthday. Oh, yeah, sorry. This was on top of that. It was your birthday weekend when you showed up in Vegas. I stayed in bed bawling my eyes out rotting. So you paid to literally cry. Oh, boy. There was no FaceTime, no present or anything. I was hurt and felt so stupid. The day of my flight back home, I simply texted him how hurt how hurt I was that it was not meant to be, and he probably had a girlfriend or something, and wished him all the best. Why would you send that message? I couldn't stop crying from the time I left my hotel to the time I landed in Miami. Wait, what? What? This whole time you live in Miami? Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything about it. Never mind. It took me a long time to get over this situation, about 6 months. Several months forward, so this year, he texted me in July. This was at the same time my car broke down and I had to use roadside assistance to bring it to the dealer. Crazy day. Saying he was sorry, he could not get what happened off his mind and his heart, to forgive him and give him a last chance. That he needed me and missed me. I told him if he wanted to make it up, he should reimburse me. He said he would. Then I told him we should talk on the phone because I didn't feel comfortable texting this. He responded with yes, let's FaceTime. I gave him a time I was available and I have not heard I have not heard from him since as of today. I've mentally moved on from him, and if he ever decides to reach out, I won't even respond. I lost interest. My question is why? Why did it take him so long to even apologize? Why ghost again after reaching out? Oh boy, Miss Amax. Wow. So to answer these couple of questions that you had here, when we talk about why, this is part of the problem with pen pal long distance relationships, because like kind of we mentioned before, let me just make sure. So I think these are messages that he sent, that you sent to me. So basically this is exactly what you said. Right? Believe it, I felt worse and I miss you and all that good stuff. I was very sick those days, COVID, bunch of excuses. So when we talk about why, you have to understand when you're a pen pal with someone, and a pen pal is just someone that you don't actually see, you just talk to on the phone and you just text with. You never actually know what that person is doing when they're not with you this entire time. So I say that in a sense that you don't actually know that in the process of your relationship with him, you don't know if during this entire time he was having a whole relationship with another girlfriend, a wife. You don't know if he has a whole family. You really don't, because a function of being a pen pal is you only see what they allow you to see while you guys are on the phone or while you're talking, and you can't really confirm anything that he's doing outside of you because you don't have mutual friends. You don't know who his friends are. You don't know where he hangs out. And he can basically present himself to be whoever he wants to be without you ever having any real confirmation of that being him. And so I say that to say that is part of the problem with pen pals, and why I stress for all of you guys to be trying to avoid having pen pals, because they don't serve you for those reasons in particular. And that is one of the major problems there. You really don't know. I'll be honest with you. The COVID thing was an excuse. Let me make this very clear. Whether or not he actually had COVID, that is not how you treat someone who you've been saying you're hyped up to see and excited and ecstatic to see for months. Sorry, no. You said this conversation was happening for years because you were talking to this guy, you were dating this other guy for 4 years. So someone that he's been texting and messaging and phone calling for 4 years, saying how excited and how much he would love to see her and I'll spend time with her and all that good stuff. When you finally show up, he's nowhere to be found and he has COVID. Regardless of whether he really had COVID or not, that is not how you treat someone who you've supposedly been so excited to see for 4 years, okay? And so I say that to say that's fake. That's fake. Whether you want to call it fake because he really was playing you from the very beginning and he really wanted nothing to do with you, or fake because by the time you actually show up and make it real, all of a sudden he's making excuses, and whether or not there's COVID there, he's not even trying to do something for you or see you or talk to you or do anything with you when you're actually there in his city. Not drop anything off for you, nothing. Not talk to you with the mask on, nothing. And those are the type of things that just let you know that someone's not serious. And like I say, I try to make you all aware of this, guys, that men, if they really love you and they really want to be with you and they really care about you, if this is long distance, one of the main things they're going to be focused on is when they can see you again in person. Okay. They're going to be so hyper focused and fixated on seeing you in person because it's so important to them to be able to get in-person access to you. Okay. They're not going to be okay with just being able to talk to you from a distance on the phone forever if they really like you. And so that's part of the reason he didn't actually really care about you. He was just faking it, whether it be because he wants a pen pal too that he can just, willy-nilly casually talk to. He liked having your company around. Or it could also just be because he felt bad that when you came, it actually made it real. And the whole time he had a girlfriend or a wife. But all in all, regardless of the specific situation and why he went about it that way, all in all, what it really means is he never truly had any real interest in you, at least not enough to really be in a long-term serious relationship with you. And once that is your answer, that's all you need to know, and that's all you need to have for you to be able to move on, because any guy who doesn't have real genuine interest in you is not someone you need to be spending your time around anyways. Okay? None at all.
And in terms of the apologizing, I mean, he could be apologizing because he felt bad for treating you like garbage. Doesn't make it any better for this situation, though. Anyways, okay. And I'll be real with you. He's not going to reimburse you. He probably won't even reach out to you for a long period of time. Anyways, he probably has a wife and kids that he's dealing with, which is why he's so sporadic in his communication. He can't be caught messaging you for too long. Let's just be so for real. Okay. And I think the lesson for you here is, first of all, don't book flights to go see people, especially to go see guys who aren't paying for those flights or contributing to them in some way, shape, or form, or making the plan with you. You going to see a guy that you don't know, have never met, thinking that, you know, this is going to work out good for you, and he's not paying for a damn thing. It's not smart. It's not smart. Don't do that. Let him come to you, or if he really wants to see you that badly, let him pay for your flight to go see him. Okay. Don't be paying for the flight and then putting yourself in a desperate, horrible situation like that ever again. Okay. So don't make that mistake again. And I honestly think after a 4-year relationship, you need a break. Okay. You need a romantic break because you don't need to be in any more relationships where guys will treat you like garbage and you'll be disappointed again. You need a little bit, you probably need a year's break at least from men, and just a year to just invest into yourself and not be around boys and be dating men again. Okay. Next here we have, after Miss Amax, we have Lily singing. Okay. Interesting. Lil Sinigang says, "Hi, Tomisin. I want to thank you for providing these amazing videos to us for free. They have been a great resource and helped me overcome so much. I'm 29 and I have been in a situationship with a guy who's 35 since December. We both agreed it was casual in the beginning as we just got out of a relationship, but naturally I have caught feelings. The past 2 months, he has told me that he also has feelings. He has gone into detail about what our future would be like, and even saying how it would be how I would be a good mom. Yap, talk, doesn't actually mean anything. He's told me things like we met for a reason and how special I am. I really envision my life with this guy. Side note, he has a lot of baggage and has an ex-baby mom and a 3-year-old. A lot of baggage, you said. You said that, not me. Recently, I have given him an ultimatum basically saying that I can't do casual anymore, and I'm looking to date intentionally, as you should have always been doing. When I told him this, he was understanding and said that he needed time to think about it. I told him that we shouldn't be in contact until then. You don't have to tell him, just do it. We had one more convo about us since then, which went nowhere as he just had some drama with his baby mom, and I could tell his mind was on that. Recently, he sent me a long message telling me he's not ready for a relationship. Cool. Then don't speak to him ever again. Done. The conversation should be done there. I attached the text, also the text at the bottom. It's been 3 days and I can't stop thinking about him. We've opened up to each other so much emotionally, and this is causing so much pain. FYI, I have removed him from IG and Snap. Yesterday, I went on Hinge, and the first thing that pops up is his face. And he liked my profile, which shocked me that we only broke things off recently because we only broke things off recently. Okay. His profile also said he was looking for something long-term, but open to something short. I can't help but feel hurt and confused by this. I really need some advice on how to get over the situation. Even roasting me into feeling stupid over all this would be a help at this point. I am so close to breaking no contact. First of all, we literally talked about why you shouldn't do that today. I low-key want him back. I sometimes feel myself regretting giving him that ultimatum, but I know I need to be strong. Thank you so much. Okay, first of all, why would you regret giving him an ultimatum? You regret having boundaries and standards? Why? You want to have no respect for yourself? You want him to not respect you? You want him to string you along for years and years of your life and waste decades of your life? Don't do that.
Let's go through real quick this message. Guys, the reason I'm going to skim through this is because guys tend to ramble on whenever they're saying something that means nothing. So I anticipate it's going to be much of that. I just want to let you know that I miss you and I appreciate you. Always be happy to see you if you wanted that. But I don't want to cause you any more anxiety to stand in the way of you finding what you want in your life. So I get why you want to keep your space from me, and I would never want to hold that against you. What does that mean? Since you left, I've been dealing with a lot of stressful things, and I'm kind of overwhelmed right now. Cool, that's fine. Then you don't have time to be in a relationship with me. You deserve someone that can give you all the time and attention that you deserve. All this to say, if we spoke in the near future, I don't think it would be any more productive of a conversation than we had in terms of moving forward. So he's basically telling you, you don't understand it. Okay, this translates to, basically, you should move on. I have nothing to offer you. I'm not in an emotional state, a physical state, a mental state, a financial state to do anything for you that you require. And he's almost doing you a service here by telling you how basically you should move on. And I have nothing for you. So you going back to him would be so stupid, because he'll be asking you why you came back. He literally told you in his message, I have nothing to offer you. Right? Someone says, Ginger says he isn't available. That's what he's telling you. He isn't available mentally, spiritually. He's got things going on in his life. He's not emotionally available. He can't do anything for you. He can't provide you with anything emotionally, financially, or physically. Nothing. Literally nothing. Right? And he's actually doing you the service of laying it out for you. I can do nothing for you. And he's even telling you that a future conversation is what he says in the end. If we spoke in the near future, I don't think it would be any more of a productive conversation. He's literally telling you, even if time went by, in the future, I still would do nothing for you. I still couldn't be anything for you. I still couldn't offer you anything. So he's basically telling you, ain't nothing good for you here with me right now. And in the near future, still ain't nothing good for you. So he's even helping you anticipate that. Don't think that just because time goes by that something will change. No, it'll be the same thing, and nothing's going to change in terms of my situation or where I'm at with this. So tell me again what you would get out of talking to that guy. You miss him, but what do you miss? What? He wasn't giving you what you wanted. He wasn't committing himself to you. He had his baby mama drama and issues. What is it that you're missing? What is it that you're receiving back? You guys get me so mad when you guys always say this. You guys lay out to me paragraph after paragraph after paragraph after of all the things that you didn't like about him, and you didn't appreciate how he treated you and how things fell apart and all this stuff. And then you say at the end, I want him back. What do you want back? What? You want trauma? Disappointment? Anxiety? Pain? Hurt? What is it that you want back? You do I love you all so much that I sometimes find it hard to believe that you guys don't recognize there's 8 billion people on this world. So divide that in half. There's 4 billion men that you could possibly come across that would treat you well. There's a whole bunch of options that you can choose from. And most of you are attractive women, so you have a whole bunch of options at your disposal. Why stress yourself over missing a guy who is telling you, I have nothing to offer you? Why not have some self-respect for yourself and say, if you have nothing to offer me, then I don't have time for you? Start being a little bit selfish with your time and your energy, where you only give that to people who are committed to you. What would you be doing for yourself by committing yourself or returning back to someone who tells you that I literally cannot commit to you emotionally, physically, mentally, in any capacity? What purpose does that serve for you? Absolutely none. And so you want me to give you advice on how to proceed, but you know how to proceed. The only reason you're thinking about messaging him is because you're anxious, because you're lonely. So figure out how to fix the lonely part and how to start filling your life with activities, whether it be going out to places, doing some things you're passionate about, painting, writing art, whatever, singing, whatever you want to do, that you can start filling your life with activities and things to do so you're not sitting around bored all the time, missing this guy. Because some of you guys get confused missing someone with just being bored, right? And you don't realize that you're not actually missing that person. You're just bored. And because you're bored, your mind thinks back to what was the most recent thing that took up a whole bunch of my time and energy? Oh, this guy. I wish I was with this guy again because when I was with this guy, I wasn't as bored. So you think that the solution to your problem is to get that guy back in your life so you won't be bored. When the solution to your problem would actually just having activities in your life so that you're not bored. And for a lot of you, you'll realize when you're not bored, you don't miss him anymore because there's nothing to actually miss. You just don't like being bored. So identify the difference between missing an actual person because of the good times and memories you were sharing with them and just being bored so you're lonely now. Or bored and lonely. Okay? And how that affects you. Because I think the solution to your problem, Lil Cine, is for you to actually just start doing things in your life so you're not sitting around bored and lonely. Because like you just described here, and I'm sure the chat lets you know as well, ain't nothing he doing for you or wants to do with you or can do for you in the near future. So what do you want me to say? There is no course of action here. He's done for good. Don't revisit this. Don't think about when he comes back. He won't. Don't worry about what he got going on. He's got enough going on with his baby mama. Leave him to that. And build a new relationship. Well, first of all, put energy back into yourself. And then after you put energy back into yourself, then you're going to build a new relationship with someone who doesn't have a whole bunch of issues and is actually prepared to commit himself to you. Very simple. Okay. All right, guys, that's the show for today. Did someone send in a super chat again? Let me make sure. I see a couple of super chats here. Nicole says in the YouTube chat, she says, you also lower your guards. Oh, no, I answered that one. I answered that one. Thank you also to Shamika and Nicole, who became pro players and members of the YouTube channel today, okay? All right, guys, that's the show for today. If you didn't get a chance to get your question answered, don't fret. I will answer your question on future shows. I'm here all the time, literally every weekday, okay? And for those of you who are super impatient and you want me to answer your question ASAP, don't worry. If you put your question in Relationship Advice Premium, and you donate to the show by going into the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in the description if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to get access to a Relationship Advice Premium. And when you donate to the show, you put in the title of your question and your Discord username. I confirm that it's you. And by golly me, I'll answer your question on Monday. You get to skip the line being in Relationship Advice Premium. If you don't care that much, it's not that big a deal to you. You could go ahead and drop your question into the public relationship advice section. Oh, and for those of you as well, if you go into that link in my bio and the link in the pinned comment here on YouTube, you'll also be able to see I gave you guys an option for those of you who want to ask me a private question and maybe you don't want your question to be public for whatever reason. You also have the option to do that as well if you really want to. If not, you can always drop it in the Discord and I'll answer it all the same. All right. For those of you who love me so much and you want to follow me on TikTok, my TikTok is available above my head right there. It's just my username, Tomisin_Atub, and it's available on the bottom right of the screen there. You can follow me on TikTok and see everything I'm doing all times of the day. Okay. Evetis says, how do we do it on private? Just go into the link in my bio on TikTok, or if you're on YouTube, it's the link in the pinned comment. Once you hop in there, you'll see, if you scroll, you'll see where it says there's a premium Discord relationship advice place to click, but there's also now a private relationship advice place to click. You're going to fill out a little bit of a form there. And when you fill out the form, then you'll be able to ask me your private question and I will respond to you as soon as I can within about a week. Okay. It's not going to be instant, but it will come, promptly. All right. Other than that, guys, If you're on TikTok and you want to rewatch this show because you missed parts of it and you didn't get a chance to watch all of it, right? Then I had a brain fart. My YouTube page is right above my head on the right side of the screen. You can rewatch the entire YouTube live stream when you go into the live section of my YouTube page, and you'll see you'll be able to watch this live stream along with all the other previous live streams since the beginning of time. Okay, it'll be available to you there. And the best part is you'll have the TikTok and the YouTube chat embedded in the video. All right. For those of you guys who are wondering where you can find me on Right on Time, I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you. I'm not going to be available this weekend. I have lots to do this weekend. But until we meet again on Monday, until then, goodbye, adios, arrivederci, au revoir, hasta la vista, bon voyage. I love you so much. I'm going to be posting on YouTube as well. And I will see you again on Monday. Bye for now. Just for now. It won't be long.